Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on our multi-cloud happenings. Oh, that's what I get for moving the thing too fast. I guess it doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. All right, I'll start again. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Multi-Cloud Happenings, our October 24th edition, and we're really glad that you joined us today. We've been having a lot of exciting announcements at Oracle around multi-cloud, and we know this is a great offering for you, and we're so happy to share information with you guys, and I hope that you like the information we're sharing as well. So we always like to hear back from you, so if you have any comments or anything, please email tammy.bednar or suzanne.holiday@oracle.com. We'd love to hear from you. So today's topic is about achieving hybrid multi-cloud connectivity with digital realty, service fabric, and co-location services. I know that's a mouthful, but there's some really great information today, and I'm so excited to have you join us and our specialist. My name's Tammy Bednar, and I focus on our Exadata Database Services and our base database services, as well as multi-cloud. And then we have Suzanne. Hey, Suzanne.
Hey, Tammy.
All right. Yeah. Suzanne and I work on our teams together. And then we have some very special guests today. We have Rutger Hoven. He's our Oracle Law Instructor from Digital Realty. Hi, Rutger.
Hi, Tammy. Thanks for inviting us today.
Yeah, we're excited. And is it Okie Kiki?
OKKK.
OKKK. Okay, sorry. Wrong vowel sounds. Okay, nice to meet you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Nice to meet you as well, and thanks for having us on.
Absolutely. And Matt Sebastian from our Solution Center. I'm really excited to, if you haven't heard about our Oracle Solution Center, to introduce you to Matt and our Oracle Solution Center Day. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Tammy. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So before we get started with the meat of the content, I would like to try to level set what we mean by multi-cloud architectures. And there are two different architectures that we primarily talk about. The first one is called a full stack application architecture. And that's where you run within OCI a application database service such as eBusiness Suite totally on OCI. And then on another public cloud, you may have another custom app and a data source where you run there, and then you exchange information between them. So it makes it really easy to run the applications within your cloud providers that you're using today, and then be able to exchange data back and forth. Now, the second type of application that we mostly talk about is what we call split stack application architecture. And this is where you run your application stack in whatever your primary cloud provider or where the application runs that you like to run it, and then run the database service within OCI. And we have a number of different solutions that will help you have this interconnector, this connected network information so that you can share the data services between the application. Now, from our database services that I was talking about, we have a lot of flexibility when it comes to our database management services. So on the left-hand side, I like to start with our autonomous database, and it is the easiest database to spin up within Oracle. It can be shared or I should say serverless now. We need to change that, Suzanne. I need to change that to serverless, or it can be run on a dedicated Exadata as well. Now, with the autonomous database, it's fully managed. And what that means is it eliminates human error and human tasks or manual tasks that you have to do, like backups, patching, maintenance, and things like that. It's automatically done for you so that you can focus on what's important within the business, the data and the business itself. Then in the middle, we have Exadata Database Service. Now, both Autonomous Database and the Exadata Database Service run on the Exadata platform. Hopefully, you guys are running the Exadata platform today. If not, we're more than happy to help you with more information around that platform. Now, the Exadata Database Service, we like to call that the most flexible, and it is a dedicated Exadata service. And what we mean by that is we have database servers and storage servers that when you provision the servers, it's dedicated just to you. There's no other customers running on those hardware resources. It is a co-managed service, which means that Oracle and you, the customer, we work together to ensure that you have all the maintenance, the patching, and making sure that your service stays up and running. But you have full administrative control in order to, with your Exadata database service as well. And then on the right-hand side, we have the base database service, which is a more what we call traditional type service, where you can run standard edition and enterprise edition databases on VMs that are on shared compute. This is also a co-managed service between Oracle and you to ensure, again, that you have all the maintenance and the health of the VMs stays up and running. But again, you have full administrative control. And with base database service, you can run single instance, or you could run 2-node rack databases as well. So we give you a lot of flexibility, or hopefully we offer you a lot of flexibility on where you can run your database service that works best for your application and your business. Now, today is about colocation and hybrid cloud. And I'm going to turn this over to Suzanne to talk a little bit more about our hybrid cloud offering in Oracle.
Thank you, Tammy. Okay, so we've often on this webcast series only focused really on the multi-cloud aspects, but the hybrid multi-cloud is extremely relevant for our customers with enterprise systems, as you can see from this slide, data residency requirements, low latency performance, and absolute security and control. And where this comes in is that if we just briefly talk about the hybrid cloud approach, this really helps bridge, like an on-premises data center and the public cloud. And that brings the public cloud benefits to these on-premises applications. So this is the hybrid model. However, when we talk about a multi-cloud hybrid multi-cloud, model, this approach will extend that deployment model, the hybrid model, by enabling, for example, Exadata Database Service on Cloud at Customer residing in the data center, optimally a co-location provider, in this case, Digital Realty's data center via the Digital Realty's service fabric, to access multiple cloud service providers, as well as local data centers with their broad reach and connectivity. So there's a number of reasons why hybrid multi-cloud may be preferred or may be actually required, as opposed to just doing, let's say, a multi-cloud approach between public cloud provider to public cloud provider. Because some industries and countries, they really have these data residency regulations, and these mandate that certain data remains on premises, or that, for example, in country public data centers are only allowed. Okay, so in other words, the data is not permitted to go outside of that nation. So in these such cases, then what we have is these data residency regulations that mandate that the data does remain on premises. However, these organizations may also have a need to actually access multi-cloud, multiple clouds as well. And typically this is done, like I already explained, through a connectivity provider's fabric. And in this case, we were going to show today how Digital Realty can make this model happen. So we've got Exadata Cloud at Customer, which offers distinct benefits. So we've got Oracle Managed Maintenance Operations. We've got Unified Management Console within the public cloud, because it's bringing our cloud into your data center and into a co-located data center in this case. And the SLA guarantees match the public cloud. And again, you're paying for what you use with this service as well. And it's the same price as the public cloud with the universal credits. It's just important to note that it's a single tenant rack. with a multi-tenant control plane construct. And this basically enables this to happen. And then what we have is like, companies, organizations who have multi-cloud requirements and data, requirements and workloads, which drive a multi-cloud pattern. For example, they could have, portable workload requirement where they need a Kubernetes kind of construct in a third-party cloud connecting to our backend database, or for example, you've also got data analytic pipelines as well that could be driven through such a model. So let's go on to the next slide, Tammy, please, where we can just talk about how we make this co-location connectivity happen. And today, we're talking about digital reality solutions. So here you can see on the slide that we have a co-located equipment in the co-located data center, which connects to the service fabric. And as I already explained, this then actually services that connectivity then to these multiple clouds. And here you can see on the diagram that we're actually making that connectivity from, whether this is customers' data centers, on premises, out through to the network, into the service fabric, and the co-located equipment talks to that as well. So what do we get when we do this? We first and foremost are solving this data residency issue. So we've got this security and control, and the fact that we've got these the cloud adjacency model, we have this very much leads to cloud on ramps, which means that we can actually enable these CSPs at very low latency and performance. And because of all of this, because we're not actually going over, for example, the internet VPN, we're lowering data transport costs as well. And, we've got a faster deployment model than, say, MPLS, with automated real-time provisioning as well. So all in all, we've got an easier installation through a single physical link for multiple cloud connections. And the beauty of all of this is what organizations can then do is they can solve their data residency requirements, but also have leading edge new application development as well by enabling hybrid multi-cloud. Next slide, please, Tammy. So now then, I'd like to hand over to Rutger for digital reality. So please take it away, Rutger.
Thank you, Suzanne. And please allow me to first introduce the company I work for in a few words, because not everyone might be familiar. Digital Realty is the world leading provider of data center services globally. Our intention is to create meeting places where our various customers meet and interconnect, and we do that basically around the globe. Later on we'll talk a little bit more about Service Fabric, our global fabric enabling interconnectivity and connectivity to the various cloud platforms. But focusing here on Oracle, really pleased to work with Oracle and the collaboration we have to build hybrid multi-cloud solutions for enterprise customers of both Oracle and Digital Realty. In essence, Suzanne and Tammy have introduced it. We can co-locate Exadata and other customer equipment, interconnected at low latency via Oracle FastConnect and Digital Realty Service Fabric to OCI or different cloud platforms. And this is really where we add value. On top of that, very pleased to have Matt Sebastian joining as well, who will speak a bit more about our collaboration to showcase enterprise solutions in Oracle Solution Centers, but more about that in a second. If we could go to the next slide, I'll do a quick intro of Digital Realty. If we go on one more slide, please. To the map, one more. Apologies. Thank you. So the map that I'm showing here is basically intended to do two things. Firstly, it shows our global footprints. We deliver services across all continents, as you can see, in many different locations. We operate our own 300 data centers across these markets, give or take 50 markets globally. Secondly, it's good to mention some of the audience might know us under different brand names that have all come together under Digital Realty. In Europe, we used to operate under Interaction. In Africa, under the name Terraco. In South America, we still operate as Ascenti. But these are all part of the Digital Realty brands and all part of our global fabric. So it's very important to also mention these different logos that have now come together under Digital Realty. If we go to the next slide. So what we do, as mentioned, we invest and we invest heavily. To date, we've invested 23 billion, with much more to come in data centers around the globe, as shown on the map a moment ago. Basically, what we offer is coverage. We are wherever you need us to be. Capacity, we operate all the way from a single rack to multi-megawatt data centers for some of our large cloud providers that operate as our customers. We provide connectivity, but we focus only on connectivity between our data centers and into the major cloud platforms. And we offer control. So we offer our customers the control over their data, the control over their solutions. And we work very closely together with our customers to deliver solutions. If we go to the next slide. So our customer sets can roughly be split in 3 groups. We supply services to cloud, content, and other service providers in the IT space. It's just a subset of the logos here, but we are very proud to have all of the major cloud platforms, content platforms as our customers. They operate with us globally, as mentioned, from small footprints offering connectivity services to large footprints offering availability zones or availability domains globally. And next to that, we also offer services to enterprise customers. This is again a subset of the number of customers, of course. We operate about 4,500 customers in this group globally. So we have a very large customer set. And thirdly, and very importantly, connectivity providers. Virtually every connectivity provider is interconnected in our facilities. They interconnect together, but they also unlock possibilities for our enterprise customers being able to connect to wherever they need to be. If we go to the next slide, please. If we go on one more. Basically, what I want to touch on very quickly is how Oracle and Digital Realty collaborate. First of all, we are one of the major data center suppliers to Oracle. We operate 15 OCI data centers globally. We operate the EU sovereign cloud to an extent here in Europe. We operate 11 FastConnect points of presence around the globe, where we offer low latency cloud adjacent colocation services. And we are the number 1 EMEA provider of data center services and number 2 globally to Oracle. So we are a very significant partner on this front. Next to that, we're one of the top 3 FastConnect partners on the networking side. We do that partly through direct connections that customers can achieve in our data centers. We operate those as cross connects, but also via hosted connections via Service Fabric, and more on that in a moment. Thirdly, very importantly, we built joint enterprise solutions together with Oracle for our enterprise customers. We operate those based on XSEC, ability to offer that cloud adjacent, dedicated regions for customers of Oracle that require state-of-the-art data centers to house these. And thirdly, we work very closely together with Matt and his team to offer a home to Oracle solution centers, and Matt will go in further detail on that in a second. And important to mention as well, Digital Realty is a large OCI customer. All of our ERP systems are moving as we speak into OCI across all the regions we operate, basically creating one system for all of our operating entities. We refer to that as Digital One. And if we could move to the next slide. this is a short, coming back to the map I showed before. I've plotted here the interconnect points to Oracle. We essentially aim to be the meeting place for Oracle distributed clouds, where Edge and the various cloud platforms can come together. On the one hand, very important there is FastConnect locations operated in our facilities. We currently operate multiple locations in North and South America, quite a number of locations in the EMEA region, and soon there will be announcements in APAC as well. So we're working very closely with Oracle to enable these interconnections. Of course, across the globe, Service Fabric can facilitate connections anywhere. So we can extend FastConnect to markets where FastConnect is not yet deployed. Take, for example, Dublin, Ireland, or Nairobi, Kenya. Via our global fabric, we can offer services into the FastConnect locations nearby. Also important to mention, we're working with Oracle to deploy the Oracle Solution Centers indicated by the squares in your view. We're aiming to have these operational by early 2024 across these 5 markets, and more on that in a second from Matt. And that might actually be a very good point to hand over to yourself, Matt.
All right, thanks, Rodger. So I'm going to be speaking a little bit about the Solution Centers itself, give you an introduction of the Solution Center organization within Oracle, and also give you a layout of how we're located globally, physically, and talk a little bit about our partnership with Digital Realty and how Digital Realty powers and enables some of our most mission-critical centers around the world. And then I'm going to talk and walk you guys through a couple of use cases. One is a horizontal use case, full stack, or split stack, sorry. And another one's a vertical use case, which just talks about stack-to-stack architectures and kind of gives you a picture of what we're trying to do pragmatically in this space. So Tammy, if you can go to the next slide. So here's a map of the physical Oracle Solution Centers that I was talking about. First off, the Solution Center is a physical center where we demonstrate high-value solutions and services through Oracle products and partner competencies to match our customers' complex business requirements and technology needs. So having said that, this is a place where we can test truly cross-platform architectures, be it Oracle Cloud Customer, multi-cloud, or on-premise engineered systems, all in one secure, scalable, and interoperable environment for all kinds of deployment models. So having said that, we've got 2 active multi-cloud centers in North America. We're headquartered in Santa Clara, in the Bay Area. And then we've got an East Coast presence in Reston, very close to the Ashburn data center, a cloud data center. Then we've got also fast upcoming multi-cloud centers in Sao Paulo through Ascenti, again, which is owned by Digital Realty. In Frankfurt, that's one that's recently coming up, again, powered by Digital Realty. And there's a couple of them in the APAC that's coming up between Tokyo and I want to say Singapore. So all this that you see in the red are OC data centers. And then we've got multi-cloud centers that are in green currently in these 2 locations. But you'll start seeing a lot more of these green squares across the globe in the regions I mentioned, and also in Sao Paulo as well. And then we've got OCI enabled in all of these centers for public cloud. So if you go to the next slide, Tammy. So here's an example of the split stack multi-cloud connectivity use case. Suzanne did mention about split stack, but I want to actually show you a picture of all of this in action. So what we did here was we set up a ExaCC or ExaDB clouded customer database in our Digital Realty Colocation Center. And so this is public facing through something called the Service Fabric that Digital Realty enables. And through the Service Fabric, we're able to connect to other multiple clouds such as AWS or Azure, or even our own OCI. So the goal here is to demo multi-cloud database and application scenarios, meet the customer's performance and latency requirements, and show the seamless interoperability. So in this example, we have the clouded customer database that's connected to the public cloud using the service fabric and internally the FastConnect. And then it backs up all the data to object store using a service gateway on the Oracle Public Cloud or OCI. And then further, the service fabric enables the Azure interconnection to an application, a horizontal application that runs Power BI analytics. Notice this application can be used in any industry. So this has kind of become a very popular scenario with customers opting to have their physical database infrastructure in a cloud adjacent colocation cage, powered by Digital Realty, of course, and then having the split stack application running on public cloud, especially something like Power BI, which can span multiple industries in a horizontal fashion. So we can go on to the next slide. So this slide is a stack to stack use case. Again, we've been powered by Digital Realty in their colocation cage. One of the advantages that I forgot to mention is that we achieve extremely fast latency and response times using this kind of service fabric interconnect. The service fabric exchange helps us achieve 1 to 2 milliseconds on an average between cloud to cloud connectivity, right? So in this case, I'm showing first the Oracle stack. Now this stack is mainly used for DR in this example. So we have an active database that runs within the Digital Realty's cage in the colocation center in Frankfurt. This is where we're setting it up. And we have ExaDB Cloud and Customer Database running there. That's connected to standby database on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure using something called Active Data Guard, right? So Active Data Guard then replicates this primary database to the standby, and there's continuous streaming of data. Now with Active Standby, you can open up this database for read-only transactions. So what we've done here is we've connected OAC for data visualization and reporting off of the standby database. So we're actually making use of this data, and your standby is no longer a sitting investment. It's an actively used database for read-only purposes, right? And so now coming to the next stack, which is the Azure stack, we replicate from the standby selected data components to a SQL Server data warehouse using something called Oracle Golden Gate, which is a multi-master replication tool. So we take Golden Gate, take select components of data, replicate them to the SQL data warehouse. And from the SQL data warehouse, there's other streams of data that come in. There's, for example, sensor data that comes in from a manufacturing plant. And so this is a manufacturing vertical example where we have factory data and sensor data coming from manufacturing plants, event streaming, all going into the data warehouse, right, to the SQL data warehouse. Then we've got real-time vehicle feeds that's coming from mobile vehicles into the SQL warehouse. And then we've got machine learning data that's also being streamed into the warehouse. So all of this is acted on by an open source HD Insight, which is branded by Azure. Hadoop Insight then provides for adaptive learning and adaptive AI and machine learning for this data. So essentially, it's big data / machine learning processing to apply various data models and analytics models that are of use to the industry. Example could be where you can track your failure rates on certain components and kind of know the progression of those failure rates and try to curb it before it hits a certain percentile, right? So you want your factory produced components to have, let's say, below 0.6% of failure rates. And that could be a practical example. So notice that this data that's being streamed from the Oracle Active Data Guard can now be acted upon in a read-write fashion once it reaches SQL Data Warehouse, and that's being used by HD Insight. So we've got one stack that's predominantly read-only that's used for analytics and reporting by Oracle Analytics Cloud, and then you got another Azure stack that's acting on this data in a read-write fashion to produce reports using something like Power BI off of HD Insight. So again, these are very practical scenarios gaining in popularity. For seeing any of these in action, you can come contact us in the solution centers. If you go to oracle.com/OOSC, for Oracle Solution Center, oracle.com/OSC, you can kind of contact your account rep and to see how to engage us in this process as you progress along. So thanks again to Digital Realty for powering our data centers, especially in this hybrid multi-cloud scenario, and making this happen for us. So over to you, KK.
Hello, everyone. So first of all, just thanks again to the Oracle team for having Digital Realty on, shared with us some interesting information. So last portion of the presentation, just going to give the audience sort of a sneak peek of our Service Fabric platform and how it helps support split stack or hybrid multi-cloud architectures. And then schedules permitting, we hope to return for a future session where we'll provide a live demonstration of the Service Fabric platform. But next slide. So I just want to spend a few minutes introducing the platform. As my colleague Rutger explained earlier, Digital Realty has a long history of providing best of breed data center services as well as interconnection services, right? We have a history of sort of taking that data center platform and building out connected communities, allowing our customers to exchange data, facilitating ecosystems that support, industries in the financial services sector, healthcare, legal, and many others. But what we found with the proliferation of hybrid cloud, not only were our customers looking for ways to connect to CSPs, but what they were asking us to support were their hybrid multi-cloud architectures. They wanted the ability to connect to multiple cloud providers as a means to support split stack architectures. And so about a year and a half ago, we introduced or launched our Service Fabric platform. It's a dynamic interconnection solution that allows our customers to interact with the platform either via portal or via API, allowing those customers to provision connections to a broad range of CSPs in a matter of minutes, right? Breaking down, I think, the walls of data gravity by taking out some of the friction that enterprises associate with establishing network connectivity. So what it does, it helps remove the complexity of, I think, interconnection between cloud providers, but also helps facilitate, again, the hybrid multi-cloud architectures that many of our customers are looking to implement. Next slide, please. So real quick, I just want to spend a few minutes giving you an overview of the platform. First step is, a customer will approach us with some data center needs. And, I don't want to, for many customers, right, data center services, their perception of it is that it can be difficult, right? But what we have done, Digital Realty, is through our decades of experience in this space, what we're in a position to do is work with our customers to understand their business requirements. And then based on what those business requirements are, sort of guide them towards the right deployment type in the appropriate market. And so through that expertise, right, we're able to allow those customers to build out an environment in a much more efficient manner. So taking a lot of the complexity and difficulty that many enterprise customers are accustomed to when they've had to manage their own data centers or build out their own data centers. And so through that expertise, right, it makes Digital Realty, I think, a great landing place for a lot of the workloads or data that can't be moved wholly to the cloud, either for regulatory, data sovereignty, or performance reasons. And so once a client has deployed their infrastructure in a Digital Realty colocation facility, when it comes to leveraging the Service Fabric platform, step one is they establish a Service Fabric port. And so all that, the ordering of the port is all can be done via the portal, or it can be done via APIs. And creating the port takes minutes, and delivery of the port is essentially us running a single mode fiber cable over to their cage or cabinet, right? So once they've established that physical connection to the platform, the customers can then create private logical connections to the CSPs they need access to. Again, provisioning of those layer 2 connections is done either via the portal or via API calls. And provisioning of those connections is done in near real time, right? I've seen customers be able to provision a connection in less than a minute. And for some customers, it can take up to 5 minutes. But again, it enables customers to react to the changing business requirements by being able to provision these connections in near real time. And as you can see, the image on the right, when connecting to multiple endpoints, it's just a matter of, again, that one physical port is able to support multiple connections to the CSP. So again, with customers implementing a split stack architecture, if you got the application front end that sits in maybe AWS or Google, right, and the database tier, the back end or the middle tier sitting within Oracle or sitting within a Digital Realty data center, it's just a matter of creating additional logical connections to support that architecture, right? Through the Service Fabric platform, customers have a single pane of glass to manage these connections. Another thing to call out is that many of our customers use the Service Fabric as a means to connect to other Digital Realty data centers, which you see at the top right-hand corner of the image on your screen, as well as being able to connect to business partners. That's other, organizations that they may do business with. Either they need a long-term or short-term kind of connection to in order to facilitate data exchange. And then finally, for some of our customers, right, they will establish a virtual router. And what the virtual router allows our customers to do is, in the scenario where the CPE that they're using to connect to the Service Fabric isn't BGP capable, right? The virtual router handles that requirement, right? Additionally, for customers that want to route between multiple CSPs and want that routing to happen upstream, or want our infrastructure to manage that routing, those customers can leverage our virtual router to help optimize that routing between the cloud providers. Next slide, please. So this image here, again, in a future session, I'll be providing a live demonstration of the Service Fabric platform. But what I wanted to do is share just a screenshot of the platform. So if you're on your screen, I'd say the center left of the screen, in the, I'd say, light blue box there, you'll see that I've created a port that I've named Ask Tom Session Multicloud port, right? So that represents the port I've created, right? And then if you look to the right, and that column says Z side, and it's also highlighted with a dark blue box. What you'll see is the Z side represents the cloud providers that I've established connections to on the Ask Tom Session multi-cloud port. So again, what we're trying to illustrate here is that across this one physical port on the left side, right, I've created 4 discrete layer 2 connections to different CSPs, right? So the first one is to Google Cloud. Second one goes to AWS. The third goes to Azure. And then the last one goes to Oracle, right? So again, just trying to illustrate that through the platform, you can create a Google Cloud Interconnect, and AWS Direct Connect hosted connection, an Azure Express route, and then OCI FastConnect circuit partner solution. And then just to the right of that, right? One thing to highlight, and which I'll sort of go into on the next slide, is you'll notice that, while 3 of these connections go to on-ramp locations that are located at Digital Realty interaction facilities, you'll notice that the connection to AWS goes to a third-party facility. And so if we go to the next slide, please. Yeah, the one thing, I think one of the differentiators for the Digital Realty Service Fabric platform, right, is the fact that we've expanded its reach by incorporating network service providers into the offering, right? So today, we've incorporated Megaport's reach into the offering. So what that means for customers, right, is that you're no longer limited to being able to access, you're no longer limited to being able to access Digital Realty data centers only, right? You can also exchange data with and access ecosystems that sit outside of the Digital Realty footprint. And I think that is critical to many enterprise customers, because one of the big challenge for enterprises is how to deal with the challenges of data gravity, right? The data you need access to is may not sit within a Digital Realty data center. So how then are you able to consume that data and monetize it? And so what Service Fabric and our integration with network partners has allowed us to sort of break down the walls of data gravity. As mentioned earlier, today we've incorporated Megaport's offering into our solution, but over the coming months, we plan to add additional partners. But if you look at the image on the right hand, right, it kind of gives you a sense of the data centers you have access to, right? Again, you'll see the Digital Realty data centers and that drop down under location, but you'll see users of the Service Fabric platform will have access to third-party data centers through our partnership or incorporation of Megaport's network.
Okay, before you go forward, there is a question. I thought maybe it's a good time to ask this. The multi-cloud port setup is only possible if all the cloud providers are co-located on the same Digital Realty data center?
No, that's a great question. No, that's not a limiting factor, right? Based on incorporating Megaport's reach into the Service Fabric platform, right? Our customers or Service Fabric users can establish or create connections to cloud provider on-ramp locations that sit outside of a Digital Realty data center. The only thing that it has to be is if that on-ramp location, right, happens to be a Megaport enabled location, then our customers will be able to establish a connection to it.
Awesome. Okay, that's great to know. Lots of flexibility here for our customers to meet their business solutions then.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, we recognize that, we recognize that enterprises should not be limited to, the on-ramps that are located within our 4 walls. So in order to support that, right, through Megaport's reach, right, customers have access to cloud on-ramps that sit at third-party facilities.
Awesome. Great to hear. All right. Thank you. Okay, keep going.
Okay. And then, just some use cases. We've talked through this over the course of this discussion, right? But obviously, multi-cloud connectivity, right? So once you've connected to the platform, you've got the ability to create private logical connections, right? Creating a connection is as simple as logging into the portal or via API calls, choosing your endpoint, assigning it bandwidth, and then specifying some additional parameters. But again, the key here is that it's near real-time provisioning. It avoids the internet, so customers will experience secure, low latency, high throughput access to CSPs. And then the second most popular use case that we find is that once customers are connected to the platform, they do leverage it as a means to make, for some customers, it's to make their services available to other service fabric participants, as well as connecting to business partners that might be connected to the platform. But those are the two primary use cases, and primarily because it's secure through its avoidance of the internet and the fact that provisioning of a connection takes minutes, as opposed to, I'd say, traditional connectivity methods, which can take weeks or months. Next slide. And so, Rutger, do you mind taking this slide, please?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Okay. And just final slide before I hand back to Tammy and Suzanne. Maybe just summing up why Digital Realty. We are a global provider, which is important to many of our customers. There's not many global data center platforms out there. So we think being able to serve you wherever you need the right capacity is a key differentiator. Important to mention there as well is what we do and don't do. We do the data centers, the interconnectivity to clouds and between our data centers. We don't go beyond that. So we don't enter into the IT stack offering managed services in the IT space. This is where we collaborate with Oracle, different providers of services, and the global system integrators. So it's very much the foundation of the IT stack that we take care of. We do that very well in terms of interconnectivity into FastConnect, leading partner across the continents, but also the other competing cloud platforms. We're the number one in EMEA, number two in LATAM and North America. So we operate interconnectivity locations around the globe, and this footprint is becoming stronger and stronger and is extended via Service Fabric. We offer, and the term we haven't mentioned yet, cloud adjacent colocation offerings. Essentially, it has been covered in this presentation, but in those locations where the FastConnect location is available, we can offer data center space right next door to one or multiple of the leading cloud platforms, making the split stack architecture behave under a millisecond of latency between a private dedicated Exadata and the cloud platform of choice. So from that perspective, that's a very unique service offering that we can facilitate. And very important to mention, all of this might appear fairly complex. We have, of course, teams, OK's team of global solution architects on our end, and Matt Sebastian's team of Oracle Solution Center experts is available to assist customers with navigating the complexity across cloud, network, and data centers. But also through the Oracle Solution Centers, we will be able to allow customers to run proof of concepts, test environments before they make the actual deployment happen. So I think that's a big step forward to facilitate customers to essentially try before you buy. And to leave you with the last comment, yeah, we don't compete. We offer a global open meeting place, enabling customers to collaborate. So that's really what we wanted to showcase today, collaboration with Oracle and how we can make value for our respective customers. So we'd like to thank Oracle one more time for having us on the show today. And back to you, Suzanne and Tammy.
Thank you so much. This has been great information, and I hope that our attendees have found some really good information as well. We will be posting this replay on Ask Tom, as well as in our YouTube channel for our product management team. There is some great information here with the links. So we'll try to get those posted on Ask Tom, so that you can also access these links as well from Digital Realty and Oracle. And then, of course, I want to thank Matt for talking about our Oracle Solution Center. The Solution Center is a great way for you to try out these solutions. And I'm going to say, as a product manager, that it's always better to do a lot of planning before you move to cloud or a multi-cloud solution. You know, there's lots of ways to run your business, but to try it out, get some hands-on experience, and make sure that you choose the right solution for your business is always part of the biggest work to be successful. So I'm going to put that out there as a tip. Go ahead, Suzanne.
I just want to corroborate what you're saying. And I think just really want to emphasize on this particular session, it's paramount to plan your connectivity early, right? So
yes.
This is how you just made that nice bridge, because this is how the Solution Center can really help with Digital Realty solutions and to bring that closer to the customer so they can really feel it and see how it works. And understand the benefits they get, because in the middle of, say, a migration or a multi-cloud, hybrid multi-cloud requirement, that's not really time and place to start doing it. So yeah.
Great. Agreed. So
thanks so much, Tammy and Suzanne. I just wanted to also put a little word in for the team here. We work lockstep and barrel with the product management teams, with Tammy's team and Suzanne. And we also work very, very closely in alignment with Rutger's team. So we're aligned with both products, right, from a compatibility standpoint, validation, certification standpoint. So whatever that's out there is validated and tested and will work in your environments. That's 100% guarantee, right?
Thank you, Matt.
Back to you, Tammy.
Thank you so much. And I really want to thank Rutger and OK for coming on here. And as you can see, it's a great partnership, because we all do need to work together to be successful. So I think this is a great partnership and opportunity to learn these kind of solutions that are available to you for your business. Okay, just to kind of say, first of all, I want to say thank you very much for joining us today. And as you know, that Suzanne and I have these monthly webcasts, or our office hours. It's an opportunity to come on, ask questions. Also, if you have anything that you would like to hear about, reach out to us and let us know, so that we can put that topic together and bring that to you. And also, we do have an external Slack channel. If you haven't heard us talk about this before, join our external Slack channel. It's a great way to hear about upcoming webcasts, blogs, reference architectures, and things like that. So join our external Slack channel and hear more about that. So I think with that, any last minute questions, post them in Q&A, any last other minute thoughts from our panelists today?
No, thank you very much. Very excited to work with Oracle. I think, it's testament to Oracle really embracing the distributed cloud as offering choice, opening up the garden wall, so to speak. And Digital Realty is very much aligned with that, trying to do exactly the same through Service Fabric. So I think that's a key thing that binds both Oracle and Digital Realty, and important for the future of an open IT stack where people can use the services they deem most important across whatever cloud platform, whatever data center platform, and interconnected seamlessly. So thank you for this opportunity.
And I'd like to thank you as well. Thank you so much for joining us. And my sincerest apologies for that interruption. My phone went through my laptop, which I'm very sorry about. When I was
no worries. All right. Thank you again for joining us. And we'll see you next month on Multicloud Happenings. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.